Hi, my name is Chris Brennan from the astrologyschool.com, and in this video, I'm going to outline 5 tips for learning astrology. I get this question a lot as a professional astrologer, where there's new students of astrology who are just discovering the subject, or just people that have always read their horoscope but never knew that there was more to astrology, and then suddenly discover it and become really excited and want to figure out the best way to really learn the subject. So, these are my 5 tips for learning astrology for beginners. So, tip number 1 is to get a copy of your birth chart from astro.com. Go to astro.com and go to their free horoscopes section and click the link that says Natal Chart Ascendant. And it's going to ask you to enter in your birth data, which is your birth day, month, and year, the birth time, and the city you were born in. And then it's going to generate a copy of your birth chart for you, which is a diagram that represents the positions of the planets at the moment that you were born. So you want to make sure that your birth time is accurate, preferably from your birth certificate, since that's really crucial for calculating the chart correctly. So this chart is basically the foundation of most of the studies that you're going to do of astrology in the future, at least as it relates to you and your life. So the birth chart, you're probably used to looking at like horoscope columns that tell you your sun sign, but the birth chart tells you where all of the positions of the planets were when you were born, and each of them may have been in different signs of the zodiac, which will then characterize different parts of your life. Additionally, there's a lot of other information that's presented in the birth chart, like the 12 houses, which represent areas or sectors of your life, as well as different people in your life. There's aspects, which are the blue and red lines between the planets that indicate how the planets are sort of configured to each other and what their relationship is to each other in your chart. And a lot of other data and a lot of other things are presented in the chart that you'll learn as you get further and further into astrology. But the birth chart is really the basis or the starting point for everything. So once you've got a copy of your birth chart, step number 2 in terms of learning astrology is to start memorizing the symbols for the planets and the signs of the zodiac. So in the birth chart, you'll see that in the actual chart wheel, the planets are represented by little symbols, or what astrologers call glyphs. Instead of writing out the name of the planet like the sun or the moon, they'll actually have a symbol for the moon or a symbol for the sun and the rest of the planets. Similarly, for the signs of the zodiac, each of the signs of the zodiac is often represented by a symbol rather than writing out the name Scorpio or Pisces or what have you. So, step number 2 here is learning and eventually trying to memorize these symbols, because that's the sort of shorthand that astrologers use in astrological charts. And it comes up so frequently that it's really going to be something that you want to learn as early in your studies and try to commit to memory as early in your studies as possible. Step number 3 is to get some astrology books. So even though there's a lot of great free resources online, there's a lot of great YouTube channels, there's podcasts. Like, for example, I run theastrologypodcast.com, where there's a lot of free lectures and other talks on astrology. There's still something about books where you can get more knowledge in terms of astrology from books at this point in time than you can online, or at least typically the quality of the knowledge that you'll find in printed books is going to be a little bit higher than what you can find online if you really want to get into the subject. So I've already done a separate video on my top picks of 6 top books for beginners of astrology that I'll link to in the description below this video. But just quickly, my favorite book at this point in time for beginner astrology books is titled The Essential Guide to Practical Astrology by Elliott Kent. Another great beginner's astrology book is titled Parker's Astrology, which has been around for a while, and there's a bunch of different printings. Just get whatever the most recent one is, and it'll be relatively cheap. It's also a very thick book that contains lots of interpretations so that you can look up the placements of your birth chart there and what it means in that book. A third recommendation would be to get a copy of an ephemeris, which is a book of planetary positions that tells you where the planets were on every day of the year for any given year that you want to look up. And an ephemeris will help you to start memorizing and figuring out the movements of the planets, and so that you can actually track where they will be in the future and relate those back to your birth chart, which is part of the way that astrologers start making predictions. So that actually leads us to step number 4, which is start following your transits. And the transits are that concept that I just mentioned, which is that the birth chart represents where the planets were at the moment you were born, but then the planets keep moving. And in the future, the planets will move into different signs of the zodiac in different positions. And if you look at where the planets are now relative to where they were in your birth chart, that'll actually give you some idea about some of the events and themes that are coming up in your life at this point in time. And that's how astrologers eventually issue or start to make predictions about the future. So, the easiest way to follow your transits, aside from getting an ephemeris, is to check out the personal daily horoscope on astro.com. And that's really useful because it'll actually tell you what transits, both short term and long term, you're having right now on each day of the week, as well as some long term planetary influences over the course of the next few years. And it's not just looking at it from the perspective of your sun sign like a standard horoscope is, but instead their personal daily horoscope takes into account all of the positions in your birth chart, as well as all of the planets that are in the sky at the present point in time. So even though it's still computer generated and it's not as good as going to see an actual astrologer, it's sort of the next best thing beyond somewhere between seeing an astrologer and reading your horoscope. So that's step number 4. Finally, step number 5 is to go around and start collecting the charts and the birth data of your friends and family members. So this is basically taking all the steps that we've done up to this point in terms of applying it to your own life and getting your birth chart, starting to follow your transits. Now you want to repeat the same process for people that you know, because that's a really quick way to start learning astrology and branching out beyond your own birth chart, is to start observing how astrology works in the lives of those around you. And it's a bit more objective of a way. Instead of just studying your own chart, it's more objective in the sense of, who better to study in order to really understand how astrology works than people that are close to you and whose lives that you know intimately and who you interact with on a daily basis. So get a copy of their chart and see how their chart actually connects with what you know about their personality, but also track their transits through their personal daily horoscope on astro.com and see how some of those transits that are happening currently are actually reflective of events that are happening in their life right now. And if you do that, that's a really good way to advance your studies in astrology really rapidly. And I think together, these 5 steps are pretty common in terms of how most astrologers, most professional astrologers, first get their start in terms of the sort of general or natural progression of things and how astrologers usually learn astrology. So I think that's it for this guide. So I hope you found that helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section below. I'll put some links to resources and other videos in the description for this video. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, since this is the type of video that I try to do relatively frequently. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, then please let me know. All right, well, that's it. Good luck in your studies of astrology, and I'll see you next time.